Main Event Madness proudly presents, coming to you from the land down under, Sydney, Australia, and Naugatuck, Connecticut in the US of A. This is Wrestling's Rope Break. Here are your hosts, Joel the Man O'Brien and Eron the Mastermind Ramadanov. Hello wrestling fans and welcome to Wrestling's Rope Break. Everything pro wrestling by the count of 5. It is March 26th, 2015, here on Main Event Madness Radio, and I am Joel the Man O'Brien, coming to you like I don't always usually do from where am I right now? Santa Clara, California. Actually here in San Jose, California, coming to you live on the ground for WrestleMania weekend, and I'm joined, as I am usually, by Eron the Mastermind Ramadanov. And Eron, I think we actually have a special guest with us tonight.
Oh, we do. We absolutely do. I think he's a little drunk, though, so, I mean, we gotta be a little careful.
So please introduce yourself, kind sir.
It's Crazy Bill. Come on. You all know it's Crazy Bill. I'm not drunk. I'm slightly drunk. But I'm not totally drunk. It's Crazy Bill.
It's Crazy Bill from ProWrestlingPowerhouse.com, one of the long-time standing writers for ProWrestlingPowerhouse.com, and we are here to talk pretty much the first day. The first day of WrestleMania weekend is in the books as we speak. I am here live on the ground. I've got plenty to talk about. I've been to the Evolve 39 pay-per-view show, which was a bit of a mixed bag show. Definitely a lot to talk about here. But before we even get into Evolve 39, we have so much to talk about in regards to the news in pro wrestling. But before we even start getting into all the analytical stuff that we usually do, I have to say condolences definitely go to the family of Paraguay Jr. I didn't get a chance to do it in the last show that we did on Sunday, and I really want to make a point of saying how sorry we are from Wrestling's Rope Break to the family of Paraguay Jr. The tragedy that unfolded on the show that happened last week was just unbelievably just tragic. It wasn't anyone's fault, really. It was just a freak accident that happens in pro wrestling, and it's really crazy that we hear so many death threats have been sent to Rey Mysterio and all that stuff, and it's just like, it's a freak accident, and it's so easy to put blame on someone, but we can't do that right now, and I think what we should just do is just mourn for the loss of pretty much like almost a John Cena-esque kind of character in the world of AAA.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because this week has been kind of a big week for wrestling fans all over the world as far as, WrestleMania is always, wrestling fans kind of come together and, just enjoy the week, and this kind of rocked the wrestling world, and it's really just sad. And like you said, there's no one to blame for it. People are putting blame on Mysterio or whoever, but it's a freak accident. I mean, how many times have we seen Rey Mysterio kick somebody into the ropes and get ready for the 619? That's never happened before. So freak accident, nobody to blame. If we were to just kind of pinpoint something about that whole segment, maybe the ref should have called for the finish a little sooner to kind of wrap up things and go to Pero Jr. and help him. But it's really sad.
And Bill, what do you think? What's been going through your head for the last week?
It's just like Owen Hart, man. He died. I truly believe he died in the ring, and they tried to cover themselves by saying, "Oh, he died the next day," or "He died in the ambulance," and yada yada yada. I truly believe, watching the footage, that he died in the ring. It was a horribly freak accident. He, understandably, as I've read, he died from, his broken vertebrae. It was a freak accident when he went for the move. Which is a strange. The 619 is a strange move. Sure. You'll never see anyone fall into the ropes unless they're going in that way, unless they're going for the 619.
Yeah.
But it's a freak accident, and I don't blame anyone. I don't fault anyone. But I truly believe that Mysterio is looking at it as it's his fault, I don't blame him at all, man.
I think the situation with Ray is that you've got a guy that is almost at the twilight of his career. He's seeing a lot of the guys that are almost surpassing him in regards to what he can do in the ring. I mean, like, back in the day, 1996, 1997, his matches against Dean Malenko were some of the greatest, cruiserweight battles I've ever seen in my life. And he revolutionized the luchador style for the American audiences. But now he's dealing with the Ricochets, with the AR Foxes, with those kind of guys that are absolutely surpassing him. So that's playing on your mind already before amazing tragedy like what's happened comes into play. All that kind of comes into play, like maybe that it is time for Rey Mysterio to hang up his boots. Like, what else could there to be done for his career?
I thought that a couple years ago. Like, I love Mysterio, but a couple years ago, I thought it was. I'm like, okay, it might be time, man. It might be time. After his feud with CM Punk, I thought he was pretty much ready to, he put over some new guys, and it was about time for him to step away.
Yeah, absolutely. But condolences go to Peregrine's Junior's family.
Absolutely.
But to the absolute nth degree. But of course, we are in the midst of WrestleMania season, so we have to kind of like roll on with the show and kind of focus on the task at hand. And the biggest kind of news coming out of this week before we even hit up WrestleMania weekend is the fact that Brock Lesnar has officially signed with WWE for a 3-year deal. He got himself a raise in the process, and now he's going to be with the company full time going into the foreseeable future. Now, this completely and utterly changes what we're going to expect at WrestleMania 31. I think that completely changes the dynamic. Aaron, what do you think?
Oh, wow. Well, actually, Cool Wrestling News was actually the first to report it, which was pretty cool because...
I do remember that.
Yeah, because Brian Waters, a contributor to PWP, works at ESPN. He let Jay know that apparently a big segment's coming up with Brock Lesnar, and then he relayed it to me. I posted it on Cool Wrestling News. So it was cool to be kind of the first to report it, and then everyone else picked it up. It's crazy because, I've said it from the get-go. I said it, I think, last year in 2014. I thought Brock was gonna stay. I didn't know if he was gonna be solely with WWE. I expected something maybe of a cross promotion with UFC and WWE. But I'm excited. I'm excited that he's gonna be staying with WWE for 3 years. So that means he's gonna be locked in until WrestleMania 33, which is great. And that says a lot. And there's so many possible feuds you can go with. You've got Reigns if they want to continue with that. You've got Seth Rollins if they want to do that. Randy Orton, just different guys all over the roster that you can go.
Daniel Bryan.
There you go, another one.
Brock Lesnar, right there is just the most amazing feud for the World Championship that I've ever.
And I felt like his announcement was really genuine, really real. Like if you listen to it, he didn't have anything prepared. He was just kind of talking off the top of his head. And I always say, I've always felt like Brock Lesnar gets kind of a bad rap for being somebody that just is in it for the money and that's all he cares about. This guy's a competitor. I mean, this guy is an alpha male as far as wanting to be the best. And I think he's having fun with wrestling right now. It seems like he said he loves being in the ring. He just doesn't like, and he's always not liked the stuff that comes with it, the travel, the ambiance, going to the airport, being mobbed, like you saw with Hulk Hogan today, and
oh yeah,
so I'm excited for Brock Lesnar to stay, and I'm happy he re-signed.
Bill, what do you think? Brock Lesnar re-signing, big deal, right?
It's absolutely a huge deal. We as Marks, whatever you want to call us, as the IWC, we naturally assumed that Lesnar was going to be gone shortly after WrestleMania. And would give Reigns that rub, Reigns that title,
which is something that we didn't want, really.
Which what? Fuck that, man. Fuck that. We don't want it right now. But we were cheering this guy like it was nobody's business for the past year.
Yes.
And a half.
Good point. Yes.
Fuck that. We don't want him right now. Reigns is amazing. I still don't think I don't think he's ready.
No.
I don't think he is in the position that, say, Austin
Yeah, but who is
was
ever truly ready, though?
1996.
Oh, come on.
No,
But who is?
Don't.
No,
no,
but
don't
anybody,
play that game.
anybody that goes to that spot and is pressured to take on the company full time on their shoulders is never truly ready for it. Never.
A
No,
guy.
don't play that game. No, don't play that game. Because
Sorry.
I agree, no one right now is ready, and that's Vince's fault. He did not bring anyone up over the past 2 years.
That's my point. No one's truly ready for it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
However, Lesnar can carry the company.
Absolutely. No, he can.
Not on a part-time
Here's
schedule.
here's my biggest issue. Here's my biggest issue with Lesnar retaining the title at Mania. We will likely not see him again until SummerSlam.
No, I disagree with you.
Which makes don't disagree with me. I'm not done yet. We likely will not see him until SummerSlam, which makes Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins. Listen, the guy mispronounced his name once, and now all of a sudden they're all mispronouncing his name.
Wrong.
I don't give a shit. Yeah, Seth Rollins. So Seth Rollins cannot accurately cash in his Money in the Bank, which leads me to believe that Lesnar will not walk out of WrestleMania with the title. It'll be awesome for him to walk out with a title, to be a face, and to continue. He'll keep destroying Cena. He'll destroy Orton. He'll destroy, Reigns. He'll destroy Daniel Bryan. I'd love a Daniel Bryan Brock Lesnar match. Absolutely.
I would too.
Here's my thing, though. You got to remember, okay? I did predict Reigns to walk out with the champion. With the championship. Yeah. So I'm not saying Brock Lesnar going to retain, but I'm saying if Brock Lesnar were to retain the title, I doubt we don't see him until SummerSlam. I think he wrestles at Extreme Rules because it only makes sense for a rematch as far as with Reigns if they decide to go that route.
No, but no.
He's not going to be off TV for 4 months.
He was for the best 6 months, man.
No.
You don't get a rematch unless you lose the title.
Well, if he does lose the title, I'm saying he'll be at Extreme. I don't see.
Okay,
him.
But if he does lose the title, Reigns is not ready. They know it. They fucking know it. So Reigns wins the title. Rollins cashes in. They eventually set up Lesnar, Reigns, Rollins at SummerSlam. How amazing and perfect is that?
It definitely has legs, but I will say this:
it has a ton of legs.
It definitely does. It definitely has, but that's a long way off. It's definitely a long way off. We have to focus on the now. We have to focus on who's going to be the champion leaving WrestleMania 31, and it's still going to be Roman Reigns.
I'm also focusing on the now, and if it's still Lesnar, Rollins' Money in the Bank briefcase will go horribly to shit because Lesnar only has a selective contract. He only shows up.
I agree. It definitely diminishes the value of the Money in the Bank briefcase, but I think that means I agree. It definitely diminishes the value of the briefcase, but I think we are all in agreement that Roman Reigns will leave San Jose, California as the WWE champion. The question is, how does Roman Reigns leave San Jose as champion? Does he leave it on his own terms? Does he leave it with help? Does he leave it? That's the big question right now because
honestly, Joel and Aaron, Paul Heyman keeps bringing up being the one in 21-1.
Yes, he does.
He constantly brings up Roman Reigns, family and heritage.
Yep.
He constantly brings up this. He brings up that. He brings up the other thing. It just as a creative writer for film, I almost see that Heyman is going to
side with Lesnar.
Yeah, no. He's not going to side with Lesnar. He already knows, and I personally already see that Paul Heyman knows, based on everything he's tried to discount about Roman Reigns.
Yeah,
he sees absolute positive in Roman Reigns. He knows the truth. I truly believe if they make that double turn,
Yep.
Heyman is going to screw Lesnar and side with Roman Reigns.
So you agree with me that there is some question in how Roman Reigns is going to leave as champion, right?
I truly question it. But however, no matter how much I question it, I know Reigns is leaving as the champion.
Leave this conversation on 2 points. One, that Reigns is going to leave as champion, and that will mean that Brock Lesnar, I guarantee you, regardless of Vince McMahon doing it or not, Brock Lesnar is going to be the most over babyface in the entire WWE on Monday Night Raw. Regardless of what they have planned.
And the thing is that, like, my thought is that they are absurdly, like, unbelievably high about Seth Rollins. So it leads me to believe that Brock Lesnar will not retain the title at Mania because they want Rollins to cash in somewhere between right now and Money in the Bank in June. They are absurdly high on this guy. He is what Randy Orton was back in 2005.
I think the fact that they booked him now and like secured his contract before WrestleMania means, and I think me and Aaron discussed this off air, and I know Aaron agrees with me. Some plan going on with Brock Lesnar post WrestleMania. Are we going to see that come to fruition on Monday? All we can tell you right now is that there's a lot of intrigue going into that main event, and thank fucking God that Brock Lesnar re-signed with WWE beforehand, because now this WrestleMania main event is full of intrigue, regardless of the outcome or not. We are going to be on our knees wanting to know what's going to happen with Monday Night Raw, and I think that's a great positive, no matter how you see it.
Yeah. I'm tired of the Raw after Mania cash in. You know, multiple guys have done it. Ziggler as most recent. I think Rollins needs to be that guy who cashes in. He's the first ever to win Money in the Bank and cash in at WrestleMania and win.
Aaron, do you think that's the person to do it?
I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, you know, Rollins is definitely somebody that they want to. They're obviously high on, like Bill said, and I think there's so many different possibilities they can go with, so many different outcomes, finishes. So, I think a lot of it's just up in the air right now, and I think I love it because it's truly unpredictable. A lot of people, people are ridiculous. I mean, some people are saying that this Mania is so predictable, and it's not at all. I mean,
I think we just discussed that it is somewhat predictable.
No, it's not though. It really isn't. As much as we think Reigns is going to win, they could easily have Lesnar win. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. The PWP guys, a lot of the PWP guys. We did the prediction chart, and as I was, I was a little bit more than halfway through creating it, and I messaged Aaron, and I went, man, it's fucking absurd how predictable WrestleMania seems to be. That holds true if you actually look at the predictions, but I look at it and I go, you know what? Most of us could very well be wrong.
Yeah.
They have done an amazing job setting Undertaker and Bray Wyatt.
I think this is a great lead-in to your predictions before we actually head into WrestleMania, because we may not get a chance to talk to you until the post-WrestleMania Raw edition of Wrestling's Rope Break. So give us your rundown. I'll go top match to bottom match. First of all, obviously you're talking about Undertaker and Bray Wyatt. Give us Undertaker Bray Wyatt. Who's your prediction?
My thing is, I'm all about Bray Wyatt.
Hell yeah.
I love Undertaker, almost as much as I love, Triple H and honestly what CM Punk has done. But I don't think Undertaker has lost his streak. Now it's his time to put the younger guys over to be that next huge thing. And Bray Wyatt is that next huge thing.
He's a new face of fear.
He's that new face of fear. He's the next big thing compared to Undertaker. He is that next. He's not going to go, undefeated at WrestleMania because he's already lost to John Cena, and I fucking despise Russell Carnes for telling the world that he's been buried. But
for those who don't know, Russell Carnes is a PWP Facebook contributor who has a very opinionated view on WWE storylines and logic.
Yeah,
and he's one of our favorite people that has a very
opinionated is a very nice word.
Well, this is like going out to the world here, so I'm trying to be nice as I can.
You know what? No matter who wins, it'll be an amazing match.
Yes.
And
yes, I agree too.
And even if Undertaker wins, Bray Wyatt will be set for life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree too.
And when I look at the whole picture, and I'm not going to give my prediction away. I mean, Bill kind of did, but
well, the predictions are on the Facebook page, dude.
I know. Okay.
Go for it, brother.
I know. All right. When I look at this match, and Bill said this is going to be a great match. I'm not so sure it's going to be a great match, but it's going to be a great story. They're really two different things, because this is not going to be any kind of technical wrestling match where they're going to be doing, crazy spots and moves. This is going to be a long theatrical, kind of almost like a play, and that's the type of matches I love. I love that's my favorite type of wrestling.
Yep.
You can leave your high spots at home. Give me a nice story between these two guys. It's going to be great. But I think Taker losing 2 years in a row at WrestleMania, I just can't see Vince signing off. I can't see Vince sitting in a room going, "Yeah, you were going to have Taker lose again."
It's hard to believe, but I am also on the thoroughly on the side that Taker, the streak has been broken. Now is his time to put the future over, no matter what. Yeah. So I'm still on the side. Joel, you predicted Bray Wyatt. Give your thoughts on that, brother.
Well, I was planning to give my predictions on Saturday, but when it comes to Bray Wyatt versus The Undertaker, I came to the conclusion about a week ago that I really believe Bray Wyatt should win. I think there's enough time to, I don't want to say rehabilitate The Undertaker, but create another storyline which complements this whole is The Undertaker completely and utterly done? Because he has been undefeated at WrestleMania for 21 WrestleManias. He can afford to lose twice in a row. And I think there's a storyline there that can be he's done it twice. Why would he ever come back? And I think maybe it's a Bray Wyatt rematch. Maybe it's Brock Lesnar, as Eron pointed out last week. We chatted about it. Both storylines work, but I really believe that now's the time to give the ultimate rub to Bray Wyatt, because Bray Wyatt's going to be here for the long haul. And why not make him the Undertaker-esque kind of character for the long haul? Because he has the legs, he's got the delivery, he's got the aura, and it's not completely WWE produced. He's got the aura within himself, and that's what makes him very similar to Mark Calloway.
I truly believe he's been set up as the quote-unquote next Undertaker, whether it's with Harper and Rowan or not.
That's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day, though.
I think it would be absurdly amazing if Bray Wyatt won, and as next year comes, Sting comes out and is plays some kind of absurd appeal, and I still feel Undertaker needs his retribution against Lesnar for ending his streak.
Yep, me too.
But I still believe that no matter what, his streak
that happens.
It's just absurdly amazing.
Bill, Eron, that happens in Dallas.
That's what I said
at WrestleMania.
I think so too. I think
in his hometown.
I'm torn between it. I chose Bray Wyatt, but I'm torn because I truly feel that Undertaker is going to have his final match in Dallas, his hometown, against Sting, and
okay.
Win or lose, he's going to leave.
that conversation is a massive conversation for another day, and I'll make sure, Bill, that you get on the show for this. Sting Triple
Absolutely,
H,
brother.
Aaron, let's start it
Sting's
off.
Triple H. Oh,
Sting and
Aaron,
Triple H, man.
Sting Triple H,
we're on the
he's
same
gonna win.
page. We're on the same page.
I'm of the belief, and now there's like almost two camps. There's like the Sting camp where Sting can't lose at WrestleMania. It's his first WrestleMania, he can't lose. And I'm in the camp where Triple H has yet to get a one up on Sting. This entire feud since November, since Survivor Series, he has yet to get a one up on Sting in any form or fashion. So by logical booking, wrestling 101, you'd have to think Triple H would go over. I mean, you'd have like that's kind of what makes sense. Now, is that going to happen? I don't know. I've kind of put a fantasy booking cap on and said, there's a bunch of different things you can do with it for the finish to have Triple H win and go over because, it's almost like a tie-in and it's really complex. But when you really think about it, it's really not at the same time. With me having Taker go over Bray Wyatt, you can then have Bray Wyatt be so enraged that he lost to The Undertaker that he somehow gets involved in Triple H and Sting. Costs Sting the match. That sets up Wyatt and Sting for either SummerSlam or the year after that at WrestleMania. I think that would make some sense. At the same time, you give Triple H a win that he kind of needs in a sense because he's lost. He lost last year. He's lost every time he's gotten in the ring in the last 2 years. So, in a sense, he kind of needs a victory in some form or fashion. And I'm not completely out of the realm of possibility that Triple H just cheats and wins somehow. Stephanie gets involved, the Authority gets involved, and he wins. I mean, why is it that I don't think this is Sting's only match? That's the thing. That's a lot of people are saying that this is going to be Sting's only match. I don't think so. I think we'll see Sting wrestle at least one or two more times.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I honestly totally agree with you, Aaron. I think we're definitely in the same camps in that regard. I think the overarching storyline here is the fact that to Vince, it's WCW versus WWE.
Mm-hmm.
And I think on the grand stage of them all, to have a WCW guy go over a WWE guy,
Yep.
I think that could play into the storyline of what you're talking about. The heel hasn't got his comeuppance. He's going to get it there, and there may be a blow-off match or another match at Extreme Rules or whatever's going to be the next pay-per-view. And that's the draw for the next pay-per-view. I was so shocked at the go-home angle for this rivalry. So shocked. I was expecting a massive Triple H Authority beatdown on Sting. Rub the face paint off him, put him through a table, get that real aggressive kind of like beat them down. And maybe they booked themselves into the corner because I think there was a lot of rivalries. Rusev and Cena was in the same situation, and Sting and Triple H were in the same situation. So you couldn't do the same kind of heavy angle on the same show. So maybe they booked themselves into the corner in that regard. But in regards to Sting and Triple H, I think there's more to be told in this story. A lot definitely depends on how Sting goes at WrestleMania. But yes, I honestly think that it's Triple H to win, and I think this storyline definitely continues.
Sting and Triple H don't matter. And I wrote an article about this on Pro Wrestling Powerhouse where, I question, can they sell? They won't sell a goddamn ticket for WrestleMania. However, I still believe it'll be an amazing match. Although most
I think
it'll be an amazing match.
Very quickly, Bill. I think it's the absolute opposite. I think they're going to sell a lot of tickets because it is Sting's first match. I don't think they're going to sell a goddamn ticket because it's Sting wrestling in a match. Do you get what I mean?
Based on the rest of the card and $9.99 a month, I wouldn't really care about. I was never a Sting fan. Sting spent 3 years standing in the goddamn rafters and never said a fucking word. And while Triple H was proving himself to be the best of the best. Who gives a shit at this point? Right? Right. Either way, the younger people and the casual fans, maybe some of the casual fans remember Sting. Maybe they don't. But the younger kids and their parents and the casual fans don't give a shit about Sting and Triple H. Well, I think it's going to be an amazing match. I'm absolutely 110% certain that Vince will finally put WCW over and and Sting will win this. No one other than the Attitude Era IWC, if you will, fans care. And I'm fine with that. I can't wait to see this match. I still feel that Sting will beat the shit out of Triple H and lead himself into WrestleMania next year against the Taker.
Okay. Well, we'll obviously see if that happens. But Intercontinental Championship match, ladder match, Stardust, Luke Harper, Dean Ambrose,
it's gonna be
Daniel Bryan, and Dolph Ziggler.
Yes, that's gonna be amazing.
Well, Aaron, tell me what you think first before Bill just completely overtakes the show and tells us how.
I'm about to blow a load. I can't wait to see that match. Go ahead, Aaron.
When I think about the build of this match, it's been ridiculous. It's been silly. No, the build, the stealing of the titles. It's been silly and ridiculous.
That's awesome.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying it's been ridiculous in a funny kind of haha way. But at the same time, it's been almost Vince Russo-esque. It's been like, let me steal the title, and it's been ridiculous.
Listen, let me interject real quick.
Go ahead.
Isn't it about time, after 10 or 12 years, if you will, that we finally have a Vince-esque storyline for a title that should be more important than what they've portrayed for the past 10 years?
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. But
I agree, but
making the story about stealing the title doesn't help the title in any way, right?
No,
it doesn't.
It does because
it makes the title look like a toy.
Okay.
No, because I have been personally intrigued. I've even been intrigued over the past 6 weeks by our fucking truth.
Bill.
They are doing this amazingly. Bill. It's not original to us IWC fans, but it is been intriguing.
Listen, I've said before, I think the build, the story behind it has been fun. It's been a fun build. But don't try and sell me on the fact that this is helping the Intercontinental Championship in its prestige.
Bill, just 1 second.
Go ahead, brother.
It completely drives me insane that you have the foresight and knowledge to predict, Undertaker and Bray and the logical plot holes that need to be filled, and then it comes to this match where the Intercontinental Championship is for some reason, all these competitors, like your Daniel Bryans, like your Dolph Ziggler's, decide to steal someone's championship. Why are they stealing the championship? Has there been a reason? But it started with Dean Ambrose. It started with Dean Ambrose. I understand why Dean Ambrose did it, because he's a little bit wacky, a little bit unorthodox. He's trying to get under the skin of his opponent.
Yes.
That's fine.
Yes.
Now you're going to associate this wackiness with credible, main event caliber performers, and now they've almost been sucked into this black hole that is this stagnant main event mid-card level that is just absolutely where no one gets over. And this whole please, Bill, this whole program has been all about trading wins, losses, gauntlet matches. No one gets over. They just exchange wins for what? Oh, just to show how they can wrestle. It is such an unorganized, unfocused mess of a build.
It's a
mess.
I'm sorry.
It's a mess.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I horribly disagree, man. Because Dean Ambrose brought in that anarchy. That anarchy appeared to be just Ambrose and Bad News Barrett turned into Ambrose and Barrett and R-Truth. That anarchy of those three turned into the anarchy of four. The anarchy of those four turned into the anarchy of five. It's a great story. It's a great elevation of the IC title. They are bringing that IC title to a whole new level with the 70s. And when Daniel Bryan wins it, he's going to take it to a level that not
yeah.
40 rows have.
He's going to take it to a level where it's going to leave whatever's happened in the last month to mean absolutely nothing, because he's going to actually wrestle and wrestle well, because that's the most important thing. Because it's all about wrestling for a championship. It's not about fucking like stealing championships like a fucking kid. Bill, okay, Cena, Rusev, US championship. Who's your pick? We have to move on. We have to move on.
We have to move on, brother.
We have to move on.
All right, cool. Go ahead.
Okay, Aaron,
keep going.
Aaron, Cena, Rusev, awesome story right now. Aaron, while Bill for some reason thinks this is the worst storyline that WWE's got going on right now, tell me why it's the best.
Well,
it's the worst for you, brother. But go ahead, Aaron.
I don't think Cena Rusev has been the worst. But I don't think it's been the best either. I think it's been a good elevation of Rusev. I think he's proven that he belongs at the top of the card with someone like John Cena. I said that to you last week, Joel. That I felt like during that contract signing, he really he looked like he belonged in that ring with John Cena, and that says a lot about his progression. And I think he's been handled out of any talent on the WWE roster from NXT. I think he's been handled probably the best out of everybody. I mean, Reigns his build has kind of been weird, and people have kind of backlashed toward him. Rollins has been really good too, but he's kind of never really been put in that prominent role. I mean, he's facing Randy Orton at WrestleMania in a mid-card match, So I think Rusev definitely has been handled the best overall. I'm excited for the match, and I don't see why there's any. But here's the thing, though: there's no reason for Rusev to win this match. Zero reasons for him to win the match.
I agree.
John Cena needs to win this match because it makes sense. For when you take the story and you strip it down to what the story is. It's the undefeated Russian who is against America, who's been, preaching that America is terrible for almost a year.
Yep.
And you have the wholesome hero John Cena going up against him. There's no way that Rusev goes over on John Cena at WrestleMania. It doesn't make sense, and it shouldn't happen. Cena wins the United States title, brings that title to prominence again, and makes it worth something. But Rusev, don't get me wrong, Rusev's done a good job with that title. He hasn't really defended it much, but he's done a very good job of making that title mean something. But Cena's going to bring it to a whole nother level.
Yep. Bill, just very quickly, have you seen the absolutely amazing video package of Rusev training for this match?
Yeah.
Have you seen?
Oh my God! You know what? I used to be a gym rat, and I at one point, 6, 7, 8 years ago, I strived to have, the body of Triple H, and I see Rusev, and I'm like, oh my God.
That could still be you, Bill. That could still be you.
He would fucking kill Triple H. I would try to be the Triple H guy, and he would fucking kill me.
The video package where he's like pointing to bags of sand and being like,
Yep.
Swagger, Ryback, Sheamus, and then he picks up the funnel bag and goes John Cena and slams it on the pile, and it's like, that is the best fucking thing ever.
God bless the guy for staying in character, though, right?
Oh yeah, fantastic, so good. Who's your pick?
I hate people that absolutely hate anyone who says Cena beating him, which Cena will beat him for the U.S. title at Mania. I hate anyone who says Cena beating him will bury him. He'll be fucking useless, just like Bray Wyatt.
But we know better.
We know better. And it's cool, man. It's cool. It'll be proven.
Mm-hmm.
They'll figure it out. No worries.
To lesser content, very quickly, Divas Tag match, Bella's AJ Page. Very quickly, I just want to say, I think the best thing to enhance this match to be the best it could be for WrestleMania.
It's for me to be in the ring with Paige.
Bill, it's best for you to stay in Orlando and watch it from the WWE Network and not be live, because. So
the best thing is for Paige to be. The best thing is for Paige to be with me in Orlando.
It's not gonna happen, bro. It's a great fantasy idea, concept, whatever you want. But what I think they should be doing for this match They should have made a tag team match for the Divas Championship. I think
that's hard, man. Go ahead. That's hard, but go ahead.
I remember growing up that there was a tag team match in 1999 for the European Championship between Shane McMahon and China versus Triple H and X-Pac. And Shane McMahon won the championship in the match. It was a bit wacky, but there's a lot of different elements that they could have played around with in this tag team match with the title at stake.
Yep.
You have the dysfunctionality between Paige and AJ, which could lead the team to lose. And also you could play on the fact that Brie Bella, with the championship at stake, could kind of upheave her sister and become a champion. I think that would be a well-rounded way of making this rivalry feel something. Because as it stands, it's a tag team match for what?
Maybe, but we already saw, Nikki versus Brie. Like, I would adore seeing a match like that where AJ won, because they're already playing up that they're frenemies, but they're trying to coincide to take care of the Bellas, but it was definitely a missed spot. The title could have definitely been on the line, but
Fatal 4-way. There you go.
They just don't fucking care.
Yeah.
And I really, really, really hate any of the NXT divas who come up to the main roster, because
they're
main
doomed.
roster,
they're doomed. Well,
they fucking care. Just like, and I hate to say it, man, you were right. You were absolutely right about the Ascension. And I think Aaron can agree.
I told you.
You were absolutely fucking... I loved the Ascension in NXT. Vince and his team, just like Adam Rose, just like Emma,
Bo Dallas.
Just like Bo Dallas, they fucking destroyed. And I think it's an ego thing of, oh, your guys are great? Awesome. Bring them to the main roster. Then he turns to his creative writer and goes, fuck them. Screw them. Make them look like shit. I'm going to laugh in Paul's face. And I feel like that's what it's been for the past year. Adam Rose and Emma and the Ascension, and he just seems to want to laugh in all the NXT guys' face, and I don't feel right accepting, any one of the NXT guys, especially Adrian Neville and Finn Balor, going to the main roster. But that's a different story. That is a massive story to definitely deal with when we're going to bring. Maybe we need to talk about it next Monday when NXT becomes a little bit more prevalent in the storylines. Fellas, AJ, Paige, Aaron, give me your predictions. Am I kind of right in thinking that there should be some more of an element to this match?
Oh, absolutely. And there's really just no. That's the thing. There's really just no purpose here. There's no end game. If what's in it for anybody to win this match? There's really just nothing there. And what are the chances? What are the chances that the Lumberjills are added to this match?
No.
What are the chances?
No. Listen.
No. What are the chances that happens?
There will be no Lumberjills, but there's a huge payoff.
I'd like to make a bet.
No, there will be. I truly believe there will be a huge payoff where AJ and Paige win, and they have that chance to go for the title, and they constantly struggle and fight with each other. It'll give us a good 6 weeks. We'll be bored in after 2 of those weeks we'll be bored, but it'll give us a good 6 weeks of the 2 of them trying to one up each other to get to Brie Bella. But anyways, go ahead, brother.
I will say that the last couple of weeks have been pretty good with the Divas as far as giving them some time.
Yeah.
Especially 2 weeks ago, they were given 2 segments. I mean, they were given. When's the last time
I'll say one thing. Like Paige versus Nikki Bella last week on Monday Night Raw was one of the best Divas matches I've seen on Monday Night Raw for a long time.
Yeah.
Really good, solid, plenty of time, great stuff.
Yeah, and I think that it definitely has a lot of legs. They can do a lot of things with the Divas division. It's all about dedication. If Vince wants to dedicate some time to the Divas, he will. And if he doesn't, he doesn't. if he does, it's going to be great stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, that's it. Just give them some content, give them some, give them something to do, and give them something to fight for. I think, and that's my problem with this match is that it's just a tag team match where, adding the Divas title, putting that on the line or something like that would have been a little better.
Even the Bellas, man, they've improved tenfold. They deserve more time than they get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Andre the Giant Battle Royale has now moved to the pre-show, along with the Fatal 4-Way tag team match. It's not an elimination tag team match; it's a Fatal 4-Way match. Obviously, very quickly, we'll start with my predictions. I think it's going to be now that's
Sami Zayn, right?
Yeah, well, exactly.
Sami fucking Zayn.
Now that it's Hideo Itami, I guess I'll have to go with the generic prediction pool and go with Damien Mizdow. Otherwise, because I don't see fucking Ryback winning. I guess Ryback could win it. It could kickstart something else with him, but I think it's just going to be Damien Mizdow. So,
okay.
who's your
Go ahead.
pick? Tell me, who's your pick? Who's your pick for the Andre the Giant Battle Royale? Why?
My pick is Ryback because he's been set up to be the big guy. Without there's two big guys who are set to be the face without being the face, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no.
And the two of them there is Ziggler and Ryback. And I truly, truly, truly feel that Ryback is absolutely set up to win the Andre Battle Royal because they obviously don't give a shit about it based on Cesaro last year.
Well, and based on the fact that they actually moved it to the pre-show. Another match that's on the pre-show is the Fatal 4-Way tag team match, which apparently actually involves the Usos. Aaron, what do you think?
I find it a little bit weird that they put two matches on the pre-show now, and I heard that now they're adding another half hour to it, which makes no sense. It's gonna be 3 hours long.
No. It's 1 hour, so it's 3 hour pre-show now.
Well, I heard it's a 2 hour pre-show, right?
Yes.
Right.
I heard that they're adding another half hour.
5 to 7. So it's gonna be 4:30 to 7.
Yeah.
So we have So I have to actually get there early and sit there because I have to cover. Oh, okay, that's ridiculous. No. So Bill, thanks so much for giving all your WrestleMania predictions. Obviously, we're going to see if all those predictions come true on the post WrestleMania edition of Monday Night Raw, and that show is going to happen on Monday night. And I can't wait to get you on board, run through the show, and see if actually I kick your ass when it comes to all the predictions.
Yeah, I'll definitely be here Monday night after Raw, just so I can rub my victory in all of your guys' faces.
Yeah, all right.
But that's it, brother. That's it. That's all I got to say.
There, Bill. We'll see what happens, and I can't wait to have you on the show on Monday night, and we'll shoot the breeze and see what happens. All right, so let's just quickly go into my Evolve 39 recap, and just general, what the WrestleMania kind of vibe has been to start off WrestleMania weekend. To be honest, it's there's a lot of intrigue in regards to the main event, considering what we just talked about in regards to Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. But coming to the Evolve 39 show, there's so much more emphasis on great wrestling and wanting to see something that is not WWE. And it was the first thing I actually got out of the Evolve 39 event that I went to. It's so wrestling centric, and I think that's why people go to these events. They don't really want something that is WWE-esque. And I think to a degree, when it came down to the Evolve 39 main event involving Drew Galloway and Justin Gabriel, two former WWE guys, there was I wouldn't say a backlash, but I think there was some sort of kind of apprehensiveness attached to the main event. But that did not turn myself away from what great wrestling we saw there. I mean, Timothy Thatcher, this a British wrestler that's been kind of tearing it up on the indie circuit. It's the first time I've actually seen him at a WrestleMania weekend kind of event, and they actually legitimately had a old school British grappling match, and a lot of the fans didn't know how to deal with it. And I like that because it's so different. It's so what wrestling is all about. And I definitely did appreciate it. But there was a lot of fans going, oh, what the hell, boring. You know, not massive chance, but like enough to make you think that, oh, fans didn't understand what was going on. And I do appreciate them doing that. I think they should do that more often to kind of distinguish themselves against other, independent promotions. But when it came to Chris Hero, the former Cassius owner, I met the guy beforehand. Had a photo with him. Bought a bit of his merchandise. We chatted about pro wrestling for a bit. Awesome, charismatic guy. And I went away from that interview thinking, my God, why isn't this guy with WWE? And then he wrestled. He was positioned in a situation where he was wrestling a rookie who was going to challenge Chris Hero. And that's fine. I get the whole idea. But at the same time, they went for almost 15 minutes. And it was highly competitive. And I just don't really understand. Like Aaron, very quickly, what's your opinions of Chris Hero from what you remember from NXT, or what Chris Hero in general?
I really liked him. I felt like he had a nice look, and they gave him the KO moniker that we now see with Kevin Owens. And I'm still interested to see how that would have worked if he was still there. And Owens came, and how that would. I doubt Kevin Owens, his name would be Kevin Owens. I would assume they would maybe have changed it. But Chris Hero has kind of fell into this thing, and a lot of people have been talking about him being somebody that apparently, like, he's fat now because this is his way of rebelling against what WWE wanted him to be. I don't know how much I buy that. I think the guy just likes food, just like me. But I think it's definitely somebody that had a lot of talent, just didn't put it together in WWE, couldn't follow what they wanted him to do. And of course, everyone knows, I think, the story of him and Triple H butting heads about his look, and Triple H has been, tried to ask him a bunch of times and told him he's got to get into better shape, and Hero just wasn't having it. So that's what happened with that. How did the I understand that Drew Galloway cut a kind of a nice promo at the end of the show. How'd that go?
He was just incredible. I think you hear about wrestlers leaving WWE, and there's a lot of questions about how they're going to react. Are they going to be spiteful? Are they going to actually find their way up and down? But when it came to Drew Galloway, obviously it's been a long time since I've seen him since he's left, because I have been out of touch with TNA, and I know he's been a big prominent feature there. But he came out to this Evolve 39 pay-per-view with Justin Gabriel, and he had this amazing jacket, this embroidered kind of like Gaelic jacket, and just his hair's darker. He looks so focused, and he completely looked so different and engaging more than anyone else that I've seen for the whole show. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that he has been in WWE. A lot of smarks out there kind of like, oh yeah, they've been in the WWE system. The WWE system ruins them. So I kind of disagree to a degree, because I believe when you're in a character's mentality, I think you focus on that more so than trying to pander to the crowd. And I think I saw a lot of that in the Evolve 39 show. And which generally, Aaron and Bill, it was a disappointment, because I've been to a lot of Dragon Gate shows. This is my fourth Mania. I've been to at least 3, and I've always enjoyed, just this athletic kind of competition. Whereas this show, it was much more about rookies trying to find themselves with the crowd, trying to get themselves, getting that "this is awesome" chant, which I don't think is going to lead them to prosperity in the long run, because it's so easy to get crowds to chant "this is awesome." It's so easy.
Yeah.
I mean, like I watched the Finn Balor Kevin Owens match on NXT, and there was there was a good match, and don't get me wrong, it was fantastic by the end of it, but it really took a almost a fisherman buster from the top by Kevin Owens to get those fans to chant "this is awesome." And it's kind of crazy, because you look back and say that rest of the match was great. And when it ties back into what Evolve was doing and what Drew Galloway's doing, is that he got that respect beforehand, even before the match ended. And when it came down to that promo that you mentioned beforehand, that guy just feels full of passion. He channeled his anger. Obviously, he feels very spiteful about what happened with WWE, but it was never, ever like, God, he's taking a shot at WWE. He's actually harnessing that and making his career better because of it. And that's what made the end of that show amazing. If you don't know, it's going to be Johnny Gargano, who's the Open the Freedom Gate champion. And he's going to be defending his championship against Drew Galloway's Evolve Championship. So it's champion versus champion this Saturday night. I kind of left that show with that kind of confrontation that happened between Gargano and Galloway. I was like, I wish I could stay. But, Hall of Fame beckons and I have to go. But all in all, like, Chris Hero made me a little bit sad. Ricochet, the current principal of Lucha Underground with UR Nation and Rick Swan, those guys were charismatic as hell. And go onto our Facebook page, facebook.com/wrestling-rope-break, to see the video of Rick Swan literally grabbing me and singing all night long with me as he entered the ring. Like, it was the most energetic the crowd's been. Awesome show. In that regard, and not the most amazing way to start WrestleMania weekend, but still a high note as far as I'm concerned.
So overall, give me a grade of the show itself.
Well, I can't help but grade it compared to the other independent wrestling shows that I've seen in comparison to the WrestleMania weekend shows. I have to give it maybe a B-. Again, it's one of those shows where I really felt I would love to have known the stories leading up to it, and really, in previous incarnations of Dragon Gate or Evolve, it hasn't been a factor because the wrestling's been so great. Because in previous incarnations, I've seen the current Adrian Neville, who was Pac, versus Loki for the first time ever, and that was the main event for 2012's Dragon Gate, and that was the most amazing thing. I saw, great match. Like, I definitely go out of your way to see it. Shingo versus Johnny Gargano for the for Open. Amazing, these amazing All Japan versus North American kind of styles of wrestling. This time around, even though Drew Galloway was far and beyond the best thing that was going on that show, it was just not the best way to start the weekend. Well, that's all we have time for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us wherever you may be around the world. We have so much content upcoming for Wrestling's Rope Break that, we honestly can't handle it. We have Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor, and the NXT live event tomorrow night. So expect full live reports from those, plus thoughts on NXT and maybe some thoughts on WrestleMania, depending on what I experience and what I hear on the floor at San Jose. Then we have, a massive day on Saturday. We have WrestleMania Fan Access, the JR Jim Ross one-man show, and the Hall of Fame induction ceremony, covered by not just myself, not just Eron the Mastermind Ramadanov, but also Main Event Madness's John Curry. It's going to be a massive three-way, maybe even four-way show on Saturday. Then we're going to climax it somewhat with Fan Access and WrestleMania 31 on Sunday afternoon, with a massive recap of the events from not just WrestleMania Access, but obviously from WrestleMania 31. And then Crazy Bill Shannon's going to join us for a post-WrestleMania Raw recap show with Eron, myself, and Crazy Bill Shannon. So there's so much to look forward to. I hope you can join us all the way through. The best way to stay in touch with us is facebook.com/wrestlingsropebreak, and on Twitter at Wrestling R Break, capital W, capital R, capital B. Stay in touch with the show. We love you so much, and we can't wait to have you on the next Wrestling's Rope Break.